Hello there, everybody, and happy gaming. This is Dark Sage Walker. The game you're seeing in the background is called River City Girls. It had been released on Nintendo Switch, Steam, basically all of the relevant platforms. My performance ain't exactly great, but let's be fair, I'm still kind of working my way through the game and understanding all of the relevant skills and whatnot. But that is neither here nor there. What we are here for is to discuss what the hell happened to Borderlands 3. Now, a lot of the reviews that have come out for the game, and to be fair, there's a lot of reviews out there for the game that are plenty positive. It's, for the most part, people that really wanted more Borderlands, they got more Borderlands, what can I say? But it's not necessarily the gameplay loop that people are faulting, but to be fair, some of them are. With a lot of people saying that it's, repetitive and gets a little boring after a while, and to be fair, that can be true of a lot of different games. I know that when I first started playing Monster Hunter, my first thought was, is this really all there is to it? Just hunting more monsters? And now, here in current year, 2019, I sit down to play Monster Hunter and go, oh boy, hunting more monsters! So I wouldn't necessarily say the repetitive gameplay loop thing is necessarily that big of an issue unless, like some of the side quest or mission arcs are also a little iffy. No, what we're here to talk about is the idea that there are other issues with the game. And namely, when I say that, I mean things like frame rate issues. There's a good number of people with the game that have been seeing lots and lots of frame rate dips, lots of bugs, and this is on. Now, I'm mostly talking about PC reviews, but apparently even Xbox One and PS4 owners, even running on a PS4, haven't been able to avoid these issues. So, what we're seeing is games that, I'm looking at one review where this person saying that they get very frequent frame rate dips down into the 40 FPS range, and occasionally down into the 30 FPS range on a game that's supposed to run at 60 FPS or higher. Running at that sort of frame rate would suddenly make the whole thing feel like it's running in slow motion. So I can understand why there's an issue, why there'd be issues with that, why people would be like, no, that's not right. I know the game seems pretty want to crash, and that's, again, incredibly unacceptable, especially coming as it is from a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Come on, 2K, you can't even release a game without it being an entirely piece of crap? Come on now. There's all sorts of jabs at how the humor feels and I don't really know that much about that. I haven't played the game myself. I don't have a PS4 or an Xbox One. One of these days probably, but not right now. But if I were to buy it on PC, certainly I'm going to be waiting 6 months for the Steam release, and that's if I buy it. I never even finished Borderlands 2, and I'm not going to lie, it's not because I think Borderlands 2 is a bad game. Far from it. I think Borderlands 2 is a lot of fun. I'm just not that big into FPS titles. That's the reason why I don't even really play things like, Call of Duty or any of the games of its ilk. I'm just not big into FPS games. And I don't mean frames per second, of course. I mean first-person shooters. It's just not my bag. There are some first-person shooters out there that look like a lot of fun, like especially Super Hot, but it's not my thing. So, I mean, apologies if anyone thinks that's an issue, but yeah, sorry, just not my thing. So, looking at the Metacritic score, right, and this also highlights a little bit of the disconnect between the actual users and the critics, based off of, first of all, only 22 critic scores on Metacritic, and this is 3 days after the game's launch. That's a little odd, don't you think? But right now it's sitting at an 85 based on 22 critics, so either no one cares about the game or they're all really trying to protect it from what, I don't know. However, the user score is a whole nother ball game. And based upon 1,425 user reviews, we're sitting at a 5.2. That paints a whole different story of the entire picture. Sorry about that. The whole idea behind Borderlands 3 is that it's supposed to be a big step up from Borderlands 2 or the pre-sequel, which was already getting lambasted. Maybe not as hard as the word lambasted would make it seem, but definitely not up to the par of Borderlands 2. And to say that this game is doing well, I mean, review-wise, not so much. But here's an even bigger problem with the game. The idea that, especially playing on, well, no, this is very much just playing on PC, people are losing their game save data. And it's speculated that Epic Game Store's cloud feature is to blame for that. But I wouldn't know about any of that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to point blame. But it sure does seem like it is a problem with the Epic Game Store's cloud save functionality. And when you look at the Epic Game Store itself, in their roadmap, which by the way they've abandoned because apparently they just don't give a damn, the roadmap flat out says that the cloud save functionality is up and running on a universal scale, and yet you play something like this and it just seems like they haven't even finished anything. It's a very, very sad state of affairs when they can't even be honest about their own roadmap. It might not necessarily be the roadmap. It could also just be, whatever. The store could just not be technically competent. I mean, it doesn't even have a goddamn shopping cart. How could I expect that a storefront that doesn't have a shopping cart is going to run properly when it comes to anything else? And because of the lack of a shopping cart, you also get things like getting fraud prevention called on you because they think that because anytime you go on a shopping spree there and decide, I want to buy a bunch of games, they think that someone stole your credit card and it locks up both your account and your credit card. Yeah, perfect. Good job, guys. That's awesome. Anyway, what this whole issue is resulting in is that a lot of people's games have been being reverted to previous saves, or sometimes just getting reset and deleted outright. There's one guy in particular, Destin, is it pronounced Lajari? But yeah, he had his, and he's a game reviewer, and his save got wiped out about 6 hours in. He's recommending do not turn on cloud saves. I'm assuming that's on your Epic Games account, but regardless, it's absolutely ridiculous. This person here, fuck Borderlands 3, I just lost 10 hours of gameplay because the cloud save was corrupted. Oh, maybe that is more of an Epic Games Store issue than I thought. Okay, good job, guys. Lost my save progress in Borderlands 2, 3, and 2. Well, that's only 2 hours of progress, but it's still awful. This person lost 7 hours, so this isn't a small issue. This is a widespread problem with this game, and is it entirely because of Epic? Is it because of Gearbox? Maybe some combination of the two, which I think is more appropriately the case. It's absolutely a sad, sad state of affairs when a AAA game comes out and you go, all right, a game just got released. Can't wait to buy it in 6 months when they iron out all the problems. And you can even argue with a game like Fallout 73, hey, that game never ironed out its problems. But that is a story for a whole nother day. I'm not getting into that bag of worms this time around. So that's where Borderlands 3 is. It's in this sad state of, oh my goodness, how could they think that this was cool to release? It's absolutely sad. It's maddening. And again, it's coming from a multi-billion-dollar company, one that could certainly afford to take the time to cook their game a little bit longer and make sure that it didn't release as a buggy mess. But I guess that's asking too much from Gearbox and Randy Pitchford at this point, so who knows? I thought maybe once the game launched, a lot of the controversy would be over and we could just enjoy Borderlands, or at least the people that wanted it could enjoy Borderlands. Not necessarily me, of course. I'm currently playing Children of Morta and loving it, by the way. But no, sorry. This is just more proof that the AAA gaming industry just has no idea what it's doing. And it's not to say that every game that gets released in the AAA field is garbage, but it seems like a lot of the ones that want all your attention, yeah, those are the ones that are trash. Those are the ones that they're going to just shove out the door as quickly as possible and say, here it is, give me all your money. And then you buy it, and it turns out it wasn't worth even nearly a fraction of what you paid for it. Big surprise, if you ask me. Not really. It's just a shame that this is happening to Borderlands 3, and this is a game that a lot of people were looking forward to, and they can't even get this right. Fucking can't trust anybody with a AAA game these days. Absolute madness. But I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna end it here. Stop rambling a little bit. Bottom line is, if you're waiting to buy Borderlands 3, you did a good job on waiting. If you are one of the people out there that's playing it, turn off your cloud saves and do your best to fight through it. Oh, there is one other point that I did forget to mention. A lot of the bugs and frame rate dips are being blamed on a very strong form of DRM. I don't know why anyone thinks it's a good idea to run DRM in their games nowadays. Is there a good purpose for this? Is there a reason? Do you really think that the DRM helps? For those who aren't aware, DRM stands for Digital Rights Management. It's an anti-piracy thing. I don't get why AAA game companies think that they need DRM in their games, but, you know, that's just how it is. My honest hope is that either they remove the DRM and allow the game's resources, allow your computer to use the resources necessary to run the game instead of having to have the DRM hog up so much of it. But that's really it this time. It's a shame. Borderlands 3 seems like it could have been a lot of fun for the people that wanted it, and for those who are having a smooth experience and enjoying it, I'm happy for you. I just don't think that I could support it in the state that it's in, and I would really hope that not many other people support it, considering that it seems like Gearbox and Epic Games wet the bed with it. But that's all for me. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, subscribe to the channel to see more in the future. I'm planning on doing my news updates like this from now on so I can just focus, because I became a rambling mess when I tried to do it while playing Isaac. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll probably see you in the next one. This is Dark Sage Walker, and I'll be seeing you.